Welcome to Sexy Urban Legends,
the show dedicated to all those steaming stories everyone's heard.
and everyone swears are true. I'm Tony.
And I'm Mick. Our first Sexy Urban Legend focuses on a grand tradition that all true-blooded American men would gladly lay their lives down to defend. Spring break. Yes, sir. Nothing beats the Jiggle Fest. That is spring break. It is a veritable flesh parade. A carnal caravan to places where the weather is hot and the women are hotter. So begins our story of Jack and Diane. Jack's a frat boy visiting from out of town, and Diane's a hometown girl whose local boredom leads her to participate in the greatest of spring break traditions, the wet t-shirt contest. It's down to the final two girls. There's a brunette with plump double Ds who's proven to be quite the crowd pleaser. And sweet Diane, who's giving this co-ed a run for her money. The competition is stiff, and so is Jack, especially when Diane throws him her t-shirt. When Jack gets her matching panties, he knows it's love. And he watches, captivated, as Diane turns this into a wet TNA contest.
Hi, how you doing? Congratulations. You like my jacket? Yeah, you look a little cold.
Diane goes to fetch her clothes, but it seems Jack has another fetching idea and invites her outside. Hooking up is another spring break tradition, and these two can't wait to experience that as well. Poking by a dumpster is not the most romantic spot, but it's convenient, and Diane is basically naked from the contest.
My nipples hard. I want you to put your mouth right there. Oh, God, suck on my clit. Yeah. Want it. Oh, I want it inside me. Ow.
Not only is this not the most romantic spot, it's also not the most private. Jack keeps plowing away, clueless that his buddies have stepped outside for a smoke. When his buddies catch on, they sneak over to watch Jack treat this chick to a wall banger.
Find me good, Daddy. Yeah. Find me good, Daddy. Come. Yes.
Oh my God.
Spring break is off to a killer start. Jack was expecting Diane to be a one-night wonder, but after this performance, he's hooked. The next night, Jack drags Diane into a public men's room for some stall sex. Jack pops her top while Diane checks his undercarriage. They both know that stealth is key, but Diane can't help moaning. So Jack knows how to shut her up.
Oh, yeah, that's good, sweetie.
Of course, Diane knows when she gets oral, it's Jack who's going vocal.
Oh. Come here.
Take my panties off and eat my pussy. Oh, God, it feels good. Oh, God, don't stop.
By the time Jack's ready to take the plunge, all concern for quiet is lost. Diane rides him like a bucking bronco as they bang away in the stall.
Oh, it's so wet.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, that's
Oh, God, it's great. Oh, man.
so good.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Sure enough, their rumpty gets interrupted, and Jack's barely able to muffle the muff action as some guy comes in to take a piss. Only it seems Piss Boy has a full tank to empty, and being only a few feet away, Jack and Diane struggle to stay quiet. Piss Boy keeps pissing, and Jack's dying for this guy to finish his whiz so he can get back to doing his biz.
Yeah, and shooting his jizz.
Anyway, Shakespeare, Piss Boy starts thinking maybe he's not alone. Our copulating couple has to stifle their laughter. The last thing they need is for this guy to get pee-shy. But no worries, he finally manages to drain his vein, then zips up and walks out.
What, he didn't wash his hands?
I know.
Yuck, dude, toilet sex is about as hot as a bathroom is hygienic.
Tell me about it, man. And Jack's getting a little fed up with these public displays of affection.
What about her place?
Can't. She lives with her parents. Jack suggests the park, but Diane gets all weird. Seems there's stories of frolicking couples getting murdered there at night.
Ah, the maniac of the woods. So what do?
Well, they're either really broke or they really want to get laid. Either way, the next night Jack takes Diane to the park for a little lovin' under the stars.
Ah, hope she likes sand in her box.
She brings a bunch of camping gear with her, and they head to the park campground. The park is deserted, so they have no problem finding a private spot to pitch their tent.
Dude, I'm pitching one right now just thinking about it.
Anyway, these two have finally found a peaceful place for pleasure. Jack's prepared to totally Romeo Diane tonight, maniac or no maniac. He peels off her bra, taking his time, and lays her back on the sleeping bag.
Annie, pussy, baby. Yes. It's so bad. Yeah. I want you to suck my clit. Don't stop.
Things are going great, but there's a slight problem. They aren't exactly alone.
Inside you. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Strangers approaching in the middle of the night can only mean bad news.
Oh, fuck that cock.
But Diane keeps grinding away with reckless abandon. She's on top of them and they're nearly on top of her. Suddenly, the tent flaps ripped open, but instead of the maniac, it's a deputy sheriff.
What do we have here?
Jack's spooked, but Diane's relieved.
You guys know it's illegal to have sex in a public park?
I wouldn't exactly call this an open and shut case. Diane's pussy pleads their case, and the deputy is overwhelmed by her compelling body of evidence.
Maybe we can work something out. Now you, come on, out of the tent.
Jack bounces out of the tent, pulling on his clothes. He starts to complain to the other cop, but discovers the town sheriff ain't interested.
Well, looks like it's our turn tonight. So you know you're in big trouble, right? So you're gonna take care of me?
Yeah.
Jack can't believe Diane is actually cooperating with the authorities.
Copulating, you mean?
You feel so good. Take it from this angle.
This is my favorite.
This deputy's Scared Straight program involves jamming himself straight into Diane.
I've been a bad girl, officer.
Yes, you have been.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That feels so good.
This deputy is giving her a lesson about the slammer.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems they're all getting a glimpse of life on the inside.
Oh, yeah. Oh, just like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Our sheriff has seen enough, but it's not the deputy's behavior that makes him step forward. Jack can tell this sheriff's only planning to bust one thing.
Yeah, his own nuts.
Exactly. This police department has a policy. The man with the biggest nightstick takes the final swing. Only there's a problem.
Daddy!
No, not the sheriff's daughter.
Busted!
So did he fuck her?
Dude, you did not just ask me that.
I'm kidding. But obviously that night put an end to little Diane's wild spurt.
Well, I think it was the deputy's spurt in a little Diane that troubled the sheriff more.
Hey, so what about the maniac of the woods?
Apparently those stories were untrue. The sheriff made him up just to keep the kids out of the park at night.
Ah. Well, if you like that case of mistaken identity, then this one's guaranteed to double your pleasure. I call it Double Trouble. It's about twins.
Oh, you're so good to me.
Kelly and Shelley are identical in every way. They share the same house, the same hairstyle, the same...
Smoking body?
They're not Siamese, jackass. There's two of them. Two very hot girls who also share the same job. Dancing at an exotic cabaret.
Ladies and gentlemen, now to entertain you on our runway of fame, introducing the fabulous Kelly.
Kelly's a stripper in her prime, and she gets top dollar for her talent. She knows how to please the crowd and please herself in the process. But what really makes her happy is those dollar bills landing on stage when her dancing is done.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the fabulous Kelly.
And this crowd ain't seen nothing yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're not seeing double, not with the weak drinks they serve in this place. What you are seeing is the fabulous Kelly's identical twin, sensuous Shelley. Ooh, she's bad, bad, bad,
And when both sisters take the stage, it's time for everyone to grab their poles.
Yeah, I'll bet, dude.
These two put the art in party, and they dance together, working the crowd in tandem. perform their simulated sex show, the money just pours in.
Hey, there's nothing like a thriving family business, is there?
Throbbing is more like it. Then it's time to take a bow and show their appreciation.
Can you say a wow?
Double wow. We're talking legs for days, and the crowd just eats them up.
They wish.
Let's hear it for Fabulous Kelly and the Sensuous Jelly.
They earn cash hand over fist, but this is just chump change. The real money comes from lap dancing in the VIP lounge. That's where the customers shell out the large green, especially one fat cat who takes a fancy to Kelly. He's clutching a sweaty fistful of cash, and she's hoping to relieve him of some of that extra weight. Kelly drops down to her hands and knees and crawls around his chair, allowing her to make the big switch. For you see, Shelly wants in on the action too. Shelly picks up where Kelly left off and kicks things up a notch. And again, they make the switch, but Kelly doesn't miss a beat. She steps right in and continues the charade.
Dude, they're totally tag teaming this guy.
You got a problem with that?
Hey, I say, the more the merrier.
Exactly. And once the fat cat figures out what's going on, it's too late. He's hooked.
Double the pleasure, double the money, right? That's okay. I got plenty, honey.
Pardon my engorgement, but where is the legend in this?
You have no patience, my friend. Don't you know the finest things always take time?
So what? These chicks are all about driving guys nuts and then taking their money. Tell me something about chicks that I don't know.
Well, they have a sensitive side. And for Kelly, that involves her boyfriend Lance. He's the only thing that makes Kelly and Shelly different. See, Shelly's happy to play the field, but when Kelly's not dancing at the club, she's giving Lance his own private show back at her place. Kelly knows Lance is the man for her one true love, and she's totally devoted to making him happy.
I'm sure Lance ain't arguing.
Especially when Kelly cops a feel of his morning wood. These two start each day right with the nutritious breakfast in bed.
This is so good.
Then they take the dog out for a walk.
That's my kind of morning routine.
Kelly swears that she needs her daily lancing to scrape the horns away, so she's not tempted to fool around at the club. But Lance isn't taking any chances. He likes swinging by the club just to keep her on her toes. But there's also a great side benefit. Sometimes Shelly joins in.
Excellent! A twofer for the double meat twins.
And both girls give Lance the double treatment. Of course, Lance has a dilemma. 2 hands, 2 sisters. So while one hand fondles Kelly, the other finds its way to Shelly's fine ass. And in all this excitement, it's hard to tell who's who. But sadly, this is as far as it goes. Kelly wants Lance all to herself, so she drags him off to the VIP lounge for some private time. Seems the no-touching policy at the club doesn't apply to boyfriends, and Lance is taking full advantage.
Oh God, you suck. It's so good. Look at the Lord. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, damn.
Kelly shoves her honey hole in Lance's face and he makes like a busy bee.
My pussy. It's wet.
Oh, God, it's so wet.
You like that?
I love it.
Do you want it harder?
Yeah.
Harder?
Deep. Can you feel that? Can you feel it?
Just as these two are about to blow, Sister Shelly pokes her head in for a quick peek. They're having such fun, Kelly's sort of bummed she couldn't join the party. Shelly decides to slip away and take matters into her own hands.
We talking a solo soiree?
You know it, dude. She finds a private room and makes herself nice and comfy. Seems Shelly's got a secret lover of her own, and it's of the battery-powered variety. She fires it up to iron out the kinks. And this girl's got some kinks. Don't get me wrong, she can definitely take care of herself. But at times like these, she wishes she had a man like Lance. Shelly manages to get the job done, but somehow she's still not satisfied. Nothing beats the human vibrator.
Oh, dude, you're breaking my heart. Are you telling me this chick can't get laid?
No, it's not that. She just wants the same things her sister wants. These two are genetically identical, so it makes sense that Shelly would be attracted to Lance as well.
I'm sure Lance wouldn't mind a little twisted sister action.
No, but Kelly would, so Shelly won't go there. Instead, she hangs out at the bar till the wee hours of the morning, sucking back cocktails to forget about her cock woes. She's so undersexed, she ends up overserved, and a friend drops her off at home. Shelly stumbles home drunk. So drunk, she gets confused and wanders into the wrong bedroom.
She pulls a Downey Jr.?
Precisely. Shelly peels off her clothes and collapses into Kelly's bed. And wouldn't you know it? Lance walks in moments later. He sees a very hot ass pointed his way, so he decides to strip down and have some fun. Lance gets busy with a little booty worship, and when he hears moaning, he knows he's struck gold. This baby is purring to go, so Lance decides to slide it on home. Lance can't put his finger on it, but things are feeling different tonight. He pulls her up for better leverage, but she goes right back down. Guess she likes things just the way they are. So Lance gives her what she wants. But just as things are getting good, someone else walks in the room. It seems Kelly was in the shower the whole time.
Lance! Hi, Kelly.
Kelly?
Lance freezes, still balls deep in Shelley.
Get off of her!
Kelly checks on her sister, and it's obvious she's wasted. Looks like this was all just a harmless, drunken mistake. But just in case, Kelly wants to make sure it never happens again. So she treats Sister Shelley to a nice new tattoo. Seems there are some things Kelly won't share after all.
Dude, that's so lame. Why didn't Kelly ink her own ass? Get a nice tribal design right in prime real estate.
You're too wrapped up in the tat, dude. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, well, what about the boyfriend? He's the one who screwed both sisters. Why aren't they branding his butt?
Whoa! I tell you a twin story, and you want to talk about the boyfriend's ass? You're scaring me.
Right. Let's talk about twins. Any twins.
Hey, guys. Need anything?
No, we're good.
I'm good.
How about those twins?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, that's all we have time for this episode of Sexy Urban Legends. I'm Tony.
And I'm Mick. Late.